tough times breed tough people.
Yep.
And I can find a way through it, find a way through the adversity. It makes me a better person. I overcame a struggle. I ascended the summit of a mountain, and I was looking for another challenge.
Welcome, everyone. This is Jermaine Jackson, sports producer here at Daybreak Star Radio, the only station indigenizing the airwaves. And today, I have a wonderful pleasure of speaking with a rising star in the college football world, the multi-talented athlete, Shiyazh Pete. Shiyazh is currently playing Division I football at New Mexico State University, and in 2023, he was named first team All Conference and was also named to the Conference USA preseason watch list as an offensive lineman. Shiyaz, welcome and thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
Ja, Shiyazh Pete, my Skijinishli, Salish Norwegian Bush's Chin. My name is Shiyazh Pete. I am I am Navajo and I am Salish. I reside in Red Valley, Arizona. On my mother's side, we originate in Sweetwater, Arizona, and on my father's side, we are within Arlee, Montana, in the Flathead Reservation. I'm majoring in communication studies at New Mexico State. I'm a redshirt senior at NMSU. I plan to play out that next year.
So, when did you first discover your love for football and what inspired you to pursue it seriously?
Didn't really start playing it seriously until my sophomore year of high school, but I fell in love with it once I got to college. Being here at NMSU, I've been surrounded by some of the most hardworking, like-minded individuals who strive to be the best in what they pursue. And I guess being a part of that culture, it's incredible. I've gotten so many opportunities to talk and be amongst the community here. I've traveled the world. I guess what I've discovered is that you have the ability to transform yourself through it, to I guess build who you are. And through that transformation, I have found that the more respect you have for the sport, the faster that transformation happens.
So, can you share a standout moment in your career so far that has helped shape you as a football player?
There was a scenario, I guess, after practice where we all kind of huddle up our offensive unit, our offensive line unit, and Coach Mitchell looks to me and he's like, Shiash, can you tell us a word in Navajo? First word that came to mind was Nabahi, which means warrior. I guess sharing that, that was, I guess, it's cool to put value into a team and to be, I guess, to have that, I guess, influence our success. I mean, afterwards, Coach Mitchell put it on a shirt, and it was an added part of our culture and the standard we set in our O-line room.
How has your Native American heritage influenced your journey in football and impacted you both as a person and as an athlete?
It's given me a sense of self, an identity. It's given me an edge in football. I'm proud to be who I am and proud to be able to represent these communities and these identities. I take influence from them. I'm rather holistic in nature, and I'm a strong advocate for our environment. But I think they've helped me. They've helped me immensely.
How was the process of choosing the right college to go to for you, and how has your transition been from high school to college football?
From what I can tell, I wanted to play football. That's what we had set in mind for when my parents and I sat down and wanted to talk about, I guess, what I'm going to do. And so we settled on football. And so we sent out a best, I guess, like film footage of me. I didn't have a Max Preps or I didn't have what do they call it? Like with high schools now they have like stars. I didn't have any stars, so I was
Yeah.
rather unknown. I simply put my metrics, my height, my body weight, and just some of my film and sent that around to the colleges. And it was pretty late into the recruitment process. NMSU was the only group of people who picked me up. The Lobos, the roster had filled up, and I didn't really want to go to a D school, a D2 school. So
Mhm.
I was like, I'll take my luck. I'll bet on myself at NMSU. And that transition was rather complex. I was very culture shocked. I walked on. I was a preferred walk on. It's a really nice spot, and I've made it my home, and they've welcomed me.
Who are some of your biggest role models growing up, and how have they impacted your athletic and personal journey?
My dad is rather patient, and he's a strong, solemn individual. He's a hard worker, and he's a military man. He spent his entire career making it out of it. He is a military man. He spent his time in the Marines, in the Air Force, and in the Army. And my mother is very passionate. She's very artistic, and she has a lot of fire in her heart in what she does.
So, what keeps you motivated during those tough times, and how do you approach setbacks?
Well, I guess it's just like I said, like tough times breed tough people.
Yep.
And I can find a way through it, find a way through the adversity. It makes me a better person. I overcame a struggle. I ascended the summit of a mountain and was looking for another challenge.
Field, what would you say your biggest strengths are on the field?
My length, I'm a rather large individual. They, those NFL scouts, they call it prototypical. Meaning I have the measurables, the size, the I guess the physique for my position. And I guess that's rather encouraging. I guess that's a strength I have on that field. I always relish a challenge and I always compete with class and I show good sportsmanship. And I think that statesmanship is my biggest strength.
What are your career goals in football? And do you have any aspirations outside of football?
What I am studying in college and what I want to do with my life is I would like to get into politics. I want to be of service to my community and within that area of influence within politics.
What are some of the values or lessons from your Indigenous background that guide you in your career still to today?
I guess some lessons and values.
Yeah.
I guess stuff that I've always been told as a kid is just to remember where you come from, remember who you are, how to introduce yourself, uh, and most importantly, as a warrior, as a Nabahi, you have to protect yourself spiritually and physically through song and prayer, through medicine, to be, and what I like to see in other, I guess, Native American uh, people like Jim Thorpe, like Geronimo, like Chief Manilito is to be passionate in your craft, to open your heart to and to always draw wisdom from other places. Chief Manilito, our one of our Navajo chiefs within history, once said that you should take all the good and leave all the bad. And I like that. You should draw wisdom from other places, um, so that to prevent, I guess, your ideology from becoming stale and rigid. You should be flexible, adaptable, versatile. But I guess that's a lesson, a value, stuff that I value from my history and my heritage.
Finally, what advice would you give to young Indigenous kids who dream of playing football either at collegiate or professionally?
Take your academics seriously. I I was an absolute nerd in high school. I formed pretty good relations with my teachers. I asked meaningful questions. I was actually curious about the workflow. It's not about remembering important dates in history or I guess very specific facts. It's simply about teaching your mind to think, learning how to write, learning how to read, learning everything, just teaching your mind to conceptualize and draw influence, dig into its history. I mean, just your mind is an incredible thing, and to be able to practice it day in and day out, you're going to stand out. My next piece of advice is obtain a vision. Find something that makes you want to makes that gives you a passion, a fire in your heart. To me, that vision it can start out broad or you can start out small and then work your way out. To me, I started broad. I have like the term Nabahi. That's my broad vision. And then you chisel it, you work inward. What is a Nabahi? What's a warrior? What does he do? People, he protects people. Um, Warriors are artists in their craft and in general. When it comes to poetry, and drawing influence, being versatile, adaptable. Find a vision. Find what attributes you want to obtain and want to pin on your chest and on your shoulders. And whatever you decide, work your butt off. Be useful and repetition and reps and reps and reps. Get strong. I guess when it comes to pursuing college and football, get strong. Get strong and take coaching, study the greats, and I guess a life statement is be resourceful. From what I've seen and what I've seen at NMSU, it isn't a lack of resources. It's a lack of resourcefulness, and that's something I live by too, is be resourceful, take advantage of every single opportunity you have. I mean, seriously, add stuff to your repertoire, to your resume, build your personal portfolio, add stuff to your identity, and I guess be respectful to everyone. Have a universal moral of respect. Be kind, be open-minded. And I guess just to have fun, to live, to take value. Oh, another good one. I am full of these. I tell you right now. I'll end it off with this. Carpe diem. Um, Carpe diem is to live like it's your last day. It's I believe a Latin phrase.
Seize
But
the day. Yep.
seize the day. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Seize the day because it may be your last. And that's what I truly advise everyone. Carpe diem.
One of my favorite teammates of all time, my freshman year, we're playing at Wake Forest in the ACC. It's like 19,500 sold out. It's loud, crazy. It's Demon Deacons, Alfaru Camino on that team, Ish Smith, a couple other guys that went to
Okay.
the NBA, but they had a squad, and it was my first call.